Things are going well at the start of Season 9 here with Vaduz. The league is looking okay and we are once again in the Europa Conference League phase. There has been a bit of upheaval with some transfers, so let's get into it. Roll that title. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 37 of the Liechtenstein Challenge here with Vaduz. And I wanted to start this episode by showing you the transfers. And as I mentioned in the introduction, and you can probably see on the screen, we've had a very, very busy summer. There have been a lot of outgoings, and there's been certainly some interesting incomings as well. I'll go through some of the outgoings first, and then we'll get straight into our new signings. So over the summer, we had a number of significant, important players leaving the club. The first one was David Azzoa. There was an offer from Al Qadisa of Saudi Arabia for 7.25 million, and I felt that this offer was too good to turn down for a player that we signed on a free in 2029-2030 season. He also desperately wanted to leave the club. Unfortunately, we didn't get him in time to become a Liechtenstein nationality, but that is not the end of the world, and we made a significant profit on him. But sad to see him go, but that was the first of many. Let's get through the rest. Unfortunately, Gabriel Vinataro, this was meant to be his breakout season. And yeah, Man United decided to sign him on his release clause of 6.5 million. He's been immediately loaned out to Augsburg in the second division of Germany, or the second Bundesliga. And yeah, I'm quite disappointed with this sale, to be honest. I was happy to let him go for the release clause, but Man United did not offer a percentage of profit on his sale. And as you can see, his value is 50 to 72 million. So, yeah, for one season, 33 games, 11 goals, it wasn't particularly fantastic, but there was a number of teams that wanted Vinataro, and Man United were just the lucky ones to get him. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but Finn Sommer eventually decided to leave the club. He announced that he was not wanting to stay, so he's gone to Cluj in Romania. We've sold him for a 3.1 million profit. I believe we've got extra add-ons, and yeah, we just wish him the best. Nowhere near close enough to get that Liechtenstein nationality, which is disappointing, but we move on. And also Clemens Pudel, he left the club on a 2.8 million deal to Poznan, Water Poznan. I think this is a really poor deal for him personally. He could have gone to a lot of, no disrespect to Poznan, better clubs, but he wanted to go to Poland. He wouldn't renew his contract. So yeah, I suppose all the best to him, but yeah. And sadly, a cornerstone of our defence, Diogo Rocha, has been with the club since 2027. Was very, very close to getting that Liechtenstein nationality, but yeah, Al Tawoun offered him a deal. He wanted to go. We sold him for 3.2 million. We wish him nothing but the best compared to Pudel and Sommer. But yeah, a disappointing way to see him go in a sense. But yeah, we made profit on a guy that we only paid under 400 grand for. So we've made improvements, put it that way. But we'll wish him all the best, and I hope he does okay in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, been a very good player for us over the many years that he's been here. Just another couple of honourable mentions before we go into the incomings. We sold Marlon Phillips for a nice profit to Derby for 1.7 million. Never played a game for us professionally, So hopefully this guy develops and we get some profit on his potential. Then a bit of a sad one for me, Elias Mesonero. So he has left the club eventually. It was going to be his last season. Unfortunately, he has decided that he does not want to play for Liechtenstein, so it was an easy sale for me in the end. But we wish him all the best at Lugano, a long serving at the club. Been here since the start of the Super League days. So sad to see him go. Then a couple of others I'll just mention. So Eros Croatia has gone to play in Poland, I believe, as well. Liechtenstein national, but yeah, just didn't develop and also wanted to leave the club. Krachovil also didn't want to renew his contract. Therefore, we had to make a profit on him. We sold him for about 20 or 30k, but we do have a little bit of a nice percentage of profit on that as well. And then Sally as well, another disappointing player who decided to leave. Didn't want Liechtenstein nationality as well, so it was an easy sale to the Kaiser Chiefs. And as previously mentioned in the last video, Tom Ritzy Holzman went to Lugano, along with Debachi going to Sochi in Russia. Just in terms of loans, Tobias Fenniger has gone to MVV in the Netherlands. Henry Bellinger has gone to our new affiliate ZTE in Hungary, so hopefully he can develop a little bit further. And he might be starting for us next season, who knows. And just finally, with regards to the outgoings, Paris has gone to Harrogate. We loaned him out, I believe, to Carlisle last season, but he's developing nicely in England. Maybe a one for the future in terms of getting into the first team. If not, it might be a case we sell him on for a profit. So that was the outgoings. Let's get into the incomings. Our first signing was Sibong Gensi Johnson. I'm just going to call him Johnson for the foreseeable future. A little bit different to the signings that I've made in the past. This gentleman does have a nationality for South Africa, so we can't register him as a Liechtenstein national. However, as you can see from his attributes, I really don't care. He's 22 years old, 6'4", got a lot of good physical abilities, can play down the spine of the middle. One to hopefully develop for. He is only costing us 300 grand, and his wages are only 14k a week. But he was a replacement in the long run from Lacasso last season, and as well us also selling Rocher as well. You can play in defence, but we've got enough cover in defence, which I'll show you in a more. Then we signed David Adogu from Vitesse for around 650 grand. Has played 7 games for us so far this season. And for a 25-year-old who is a squad player and just under 13 grand a week, I really like the look of him. 6'3", ball playing defender, can play as a wide centre back if needed. Emergency fullback if desperate, just with a cross and being 6. But to be honest, I'm happy with the signing, and I think he's fairly cheap for his age. Then a loan deal for Magnus Gilholm from Sporting in Portugal. We've signed him as a striker on loan. There is an optional future fee of 650 grand. I'm not sure if I'm going to activate that, but at the moment he scored 1 goal and 1 assist. Can play mainly down the middle, but I've been trying to sort of push him to the left-hand side and the right-hand side when I can. Yeah, he was going to be our main striker, but we've signed what I believe is going to be our next striker, and I'll show you him in a more. Then our biggest signing of the summer, and probably the biggest signing of the save so far, Koulibaly, who used to play for Dortmund. I don't think he got a professional game in real life for Dortmund. Correct me if I'm wrong, but only played 27 games for the second team at Dortmund. But 27 years old, 6'3". His current value is 34 to 37 million pounds. We've paid a bit of money for him, so it might look like we've paid 13.5 million. We haven't technically. We've paid about 3 or 4 million, and then the rest are add-ons. Yeah, as you can see, Mainz loaned him, and then Charlton signed him, and then he's been transfer listed, I believe, this season. A ball-playing defender, wide centre-back, can also play at full-back if I need him to. My only concern with Koulibaly is his injury record has been a bit atrocious. As you can see, currently injured as well. So we need to keep an eye on that. But in terms of quality, I really like him. And we took another trip to KJHM, who we also signed a goalkeeper from here, Sobotka, last season. We paid £2 million for Kasper Kaminski, and I must say I really like him in terms of his attributes. Very solid centre back, 6'2". Probably going to end up developing him as a ball playing defender, and he is left footed. Hasn't had the greatest of starts to the season, but for £2 million, I really can't complain. He's a star player, probably going to feature quite a bit. Already has this season, but I'm really happy with his signing. Then another striker we signed, Galeana from Espanyol. This is also a loan deal, advanced forward, option to buy as well, which I believe is 2.4 million. Kind of on the fence as well with this guy in terms of activating that, but it's early days for him, and has played on the wing on a couple of occasions. I do like his free kicks and corners. We need that from our midfielders this season, so maybe you'll see him feature quite a bit. But looks like a decent player enough to get in on the first team. Whether or not he can, get that consistency up and fight for a place is another question. Then a couple of other minor additions. So Franco Marek, who we signed from Rijeka in Croatia, 16 years of age, basically a hot prospect for the future. Has not got a Croatian cap internationally. 6'1" as well, and can potentially also play on the right hand side if need be. But yeah, definitely one for the future. As well as that, we've also signed Globweski, and I probably butchered that name, so apologies. Tomas, we'll probably call him going forward, but another one potential for the future, another Polish signing. I'm really finding a lot of Polish new gens this season, and to be honest, I'm thinking of basically slotting a scout in Poland, just so we can try and find some of these guys, because we've had a lot of success from Poland this year. Then our main striker, who I believe will replace Vinataru, Daniel Maximano from Braga. We signed him for roughly £2.5 million. He's going to be a key player. I like him just overall. Free kick taking, corners, crossing, 6'1". I do think this guy can take us forward in the future. Hopefully he won't get registered by Portugal, but you never know. That's not the priority with this signing. This signing is to hopefully keep a hold of him as long as I can, and he can score a load of goals for us. But I'm really excited. Unfortunately, he's not going to play in the game today, but hopefully you will see him in the near future. And then just a few more minor signings. So we brought in Cedric Utin on loan from Winterthur. Basically an emergency backup at right back because we've only got two full backs in that position. I don't know if he'll feature at all this season, but who knows. And then an old face, Justin Osbelt, has joined us on a free. I basically signed him just so he could get into the reserves. Maybe we can loan him out. He's still playing for Liechtenstein, and maybe in the future we can get him as a goalkeeping coach. We also signed the American Robin Dan from Colorado Rapids. I like the potential of Dan. 18, 5'10", but looks like a decent striker overall. One for the future. And finally, Burak Ozdemir. We signed this guy from Cottbus in Germany, 50 grand. I think his contract was due to expire and we just took a chance on it. Contract doesn't run out till 2033 and we'll probably extend that, but Another one down that right hand side where we've got a lot of wingers at the moment, and hopefully he can develop further. Just finally, before I get into the Europa Conference League phase fixtures, I just wanted to show you a couple of incomings and outgoings that I didn't mention in the transfers. So Charlie Setterford, who was meant to be our main goalkeeper going forward, decided that he did not want to remain at the club anymore. So he is going to be joining RB Salzburg in January. So he's slotted himself nicely into the reserves. Wasn't particularly happy about this. But Sobotka has done a fantastic job in his absence. But yeah, another one of these players where it's just like... In terms of an incoming, we're going to bring in, and bear with me as I try and say this, Tomasz Shondorov from AC Horsens. Yet again, I apologise if I butchered either of those names. A young 6'4", 15-year-old Danish talent striker, going straight into the under-18s when he comes in. Probably, if we can get him to go to one of the Liechtenstein clubs, fingers crossed. If not, he'll develop in that team no matter what. And yeah, only $7,000, so I can't complain about it whatsoever. So, with the transfers done, I'm going to do something a little bit different and just show you all the fixtures with regards to Europe and then the Super League as well in Switzerland. So, as you can see, we have qualified for the Conference League phase. Our first game is going to be Podbrezová, who you may recall we played last season and we got embarrassed away from home. So, revenge is on the cards. We've then got an away trip to Utrecht and to Spartak, and then we also play Dynamo Zagreb, which I believe will be the next video's game. We finish that off with home ties to Lies and Lillestrøm, which will probably be the last couple of games on the next episode after the Dynamo game. Just with regards to qualifying, we played a Belarusian team called Arsenal, where we won 5-2 on aggregate. A quite comfortable win in the end, but we had to go to the neutral venue. I believe that was in Poland, and we won that 3-1. We went away to Chorno Moretz and won 2-0, but at home we actually lost 2-1, but we did have enough to take us through over 90 minutes. And then we played AZ Alkmaar, and to be honest, I was not looking forward to this tie. But as you can see, over the two legs, we won 2-1 thanks to goals from Austin Sarni. And then in the home leg, we scored a goal thanks to our young Turkish winger, if you remember from last episode, who is developing quite nicely, Akirek. So yeah, we are in the Europa Conference League phase. Let me just quickly show you the teams that are in there. So the major teams, funnily enough, one of them was AZ, but they got knocked out. But it's definitely going to be Tottenham that are going to be the favourites. Then Dinamo Zagreb, Lons, Strom, AK Athens, Athletic Bilbao or Athletic Club, Hajduk Split, Hacken. We are down here slowly with the likes of Podbrezová, Sarajevo, Aris, and a number of other teams. But that's the teams with the Conference League. I'm just going to show you how we did in the Swiss Super League. With regards to the Super League, we've only lost one game in the fixtures that we played so far. With regards to pre-season, we just played all of our affiliates away from home. I'll show you ZTE in a moment with regards to our new affiliate that we have. So we started off with a 1-0 home win to Lausanne thanks to a last-minute goal from Claudio that was going to end up in a draw. Then we played Lugano away from home. That was a 2-2 draw. Goals for us for Quatra and Goliard, Sute and Rickenbacker for Lugano. Then a 1-1 home draw against Thun. Johnson scoring for us, but Alba also scoring for Thun. And then an away tie to one of our bogey teams, Luzern. Dick Oidendink scoring for us. Kalkoli scoring for them in the first 10 minutes. Unfortunately, our first defeat of the season was to Servette, Vargas, Illis, and Casawandrio. I butchered that name, I know. Simon Beale, one of our Liechtenstein youngsters, scored a consolation goal for us. Then, against our other bogey team, David Odogu scored a goal in the 43rd minute. to secure a 1-0 win against Zurich. And then a very, very good result against Young Boys. 2-1 away from home. Akirek, Gilholm, our Norwegian striker, scored. Jashari scoring for Young Boys, but it didn't matter. We took all 3 points back to Vaduz. And then our final league game was against Aru and Jan Giliana, who is our loan signing from Espanyol, scored in the 90th minute to get us 3 points against Aru. So this is how the fixtures are looking going ahead. So we're going to be playing Podbrezová this evening, and we will probably play the Dinamo Zagreb game as well. So that's a little bit of a time period to update there. And we'll probably, if worst comes to worst, or if we need to, we'll probably squeak in that Lillestrøm game, unless by the time we get to Zagreb, and if we were to beat them, we've qualified. We'll not show you that game. At the end of last season, we got another affiliate, ZTE Football Club, who play in the Hungarian division, if I'm not mistaken. They have a background of winning the league once. I think they've also won a couple of cups in Hungary. Founded in 1920, they play at the ZTE Arena. Adequate youth and training facilities, but mainly this is another scouting affiliate to try and get potentially Hungarian Nugents in the youth intakes. That's the reason I'm going there with regards to these type of affiliates. But we didn't have a particularly good scout for Hungary, so I think it's another good sort of Eastern European / sort of Central European type of team to potentially find young Hungarian talent. Just wanted to show you the fixtures before the big game this evening. A couple of outstanding ones. Connors Quay from Wales are going to be featuring in the competition. I think that's fantastic. Also, HB from the Faroe Islands, Lees as well from Italy, and Motherwell from Scotland. And yeah, is there any particular other ones? Maybe HJK as well. But just a couple of other teams that are in the division this year. Hopefully, we can do better than last season. Here is the lineup for tonight's fixture against Podbrezová. We've gone back to our 3-4-3 formation, and it's been working quite nicely, especially with the added centre backs that we've got this season, which we never had last year. So it's going to be Sabotka, Odegu, Kaminski, and Rego in defence. Araj, Quatra in the fullback positions. Quatra has really taken over from Siddiqui in that position as well. Johnson and Goliard in the middle. Gilholm and Akirak on the wings, and Giliana is going to be the main striker this evening. That's the bench as well, just to show you. So Lampert is obviously not fully fit, and Simon Beale, who is one of our young strikers, also is on the bench as well. Mouchel's also featured quite a bit this season. He's done okay. Hasn't done anything and really to make me go, yeah, he should be starting over certain players. Players missing out this evening are Koulibaly and Oiden Dent because they're not fully fit. Maximano is obviously injured, and Utin is not registered. So I'm going to do my usual, and I'll see you at the match. Here we are for the match against Vaduz and Podbrezová in the Europa Conference League phase. We've got revenge on our minds, definitely, after last season's debacle at their place. So 3 points is a must. Looks like the first highlight might be ourselves. However, we are hit on the counter, but Kaminski does really well there. Goliard, can he find a pass in? Akirek, Goliard. Oh, lovely goal from Theo Goliard. He's been here for a while now, and yeah, he's definitely cemented his place as one of my little club legends. He might not be in the club legends list, but yeah, it was a lovely goal there, breaking up the defence from Akirek, and Goliard just slots it in. A little bit of a deflection, but we will take that going forward in the first 15 minutes. Rego winning the ball there. Gilholm on the right, doing pretty well. Can he find a pass in? Bounces around. Have we got a penalty potentially? Ooh. It might be the case, you know. And we have got a penalty. I think it's going to be Goliard again, if I'm not mistaken. He does like taking a penalty. And we are going to leave him as the penalty taker. And he makes it 2-0. On a hat-trick as well. Theo Goliard. Lovely penalty as well. Keeper went the right way. Just couldn't get any hand on it whatsoever. And we're 2-0 up. We're getting a bit of revenge on Podbrezová. Another long ball from Podbrezová, but we seem to be winning them back really well with that free at the back for some reason. Gilholm. Raj. Johnson. Makes it free. We definitely improved, I think, at the back with the three centre-backs. I think as well, I've got two of them that are playing on ball-playing defence, and I think it works really well for us. It didn't in that particular sense, you know, ball-playing leading up to, but a lovely goal there from Johnson, and he's been an absolute bargain for 300 grand. Like I say, not one of the normal signs I go for a guy who's already got international caps for another country, but I've changed my mindset about a couple of players at least this season. But there we go, we are 3-0 up, like Podbrezová were against us last season. But as you can see, we're doing pretty well so far. Hopefully we can continue, get a good goal difference. We need to take advantage of these early fixtures because it cost us last season with defeats away from home, so we need to get a good start. I mean, that is great. That I hope that's not offside for Galeana. I really don't hope that is offside. I hope it's on for him because it was a lovely goal. Oh, it's offside. But it was a lovely bit of play from Gilholm. Finds Goliard and just slots it in. He is offside, unfortunately. But we're creating chances. And yeah, I know it's Podbrezová, but we look good in Europe so far. Here's hoping we can continue it. Looks like it's a highlight for them. Dacia. Garcia Kolar. Off the post. Oh, it's a deflection and Tambadou seems to have put it in. I've got one back at least. Makes it interesting, I suppose. Disappointing we conceded it, but Kaminsky, it comes off. I really just wish they'd give that as an own goal for that type of goal, but it is what it is. And we're kicking off straight away, and there's another highlight. And we lose it straight away. This is not good for us. That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty, ref. That was outside the box. A doggo. Poor tackle anyway, but if this is a penalty, it's going to say. And we seem to have cleared it okay for now. Perez. Not sure who was chasing him down there. Kaminsky, it looked like. Gilholm with a free kick here. Oof, unlucky. Corner was though. Colliard. Nearly got something on a doggo there. Quatra. Johnson. Goliard. Araj. Can we do something from this? Johnson. Down with another long kick. We haven't dealt with it this time. As better as I hoped. Just a little update. I brought on Christian Weber for a doggo. Just looking a little bit faded there. And we're on the edge of a counter-attack here, but Johnson has slowed it down a little bit. Collar's made it 3-2. There's no offside there whatsoever. Disappointing. We needed that sort of fourth goal to finish them off, and now they're back in it. I mean, Johnson should really stop this. But Ramos just plays it in, and it's an easy ball in. It's disappointing. It's not as comfortable as I was hoping it to be. Another chance potentially here for Podbrezová. Podbrezová, sorry. Araj, though. I've got the ball back. Can we do anything with it? Deal. Who we've just brought on with Sadiki. Oh! Akurek could have scored there. It's another highlight. Galeana. Goliard. Lovely ball. Akurek. That fourth goal would solidify things. Goliard with a corner, though. Fortunately, not led to anything. Just made a couple of more changes before full time just to try and freshen them up a little bit. Well, that was not an easy one, but at the end of the day, got 3 points, which is all that matters. I am going to say that is a real jerk-eyed performance. I didn't particularly like it. But we've got 3 points on the board. And that's all I can really say. I'm just having a look at our opposition. So, Lies and Lillestrøm, they've won their games. Ourselves, the Young Boys got a draw. Yeah, a not so convincing win there against Podbrezová. 3-2 in the end, but at the moment, all that matters is us getting the points on the board, which we have. I'm going to come back for the Zagreb game, I think, just because of the historic nature of that team and how they are in Europe. So, yeah, we will be back for that match, which shouldn't be too long. And if we're qualified by then, we'll probably scratch off the Lies and Lillestrøm games, but they will maybe make an appearance, let's say. But yeah, we're just going to keep going in the Super League and the Conference League phase. And I hope you're happy with all the new signings. Hopefully not too unhappy with some of the departures. If you have enjoyed the video so far, please make sure to give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. It does help the channel out. And I will see you for that Dynamo Zagreb game in a few. Take it easy. Stay safe. Bye, everybody.